Obviously, it was sloppy.
Rodgers sacked on first down.
We made it easier for him with just a lack of execution.
Short throw, Garrett Wilson trying to create, and he fumbles the ball. The Jets turn it over on their first possession.
We had opportunities, first and goal from the 1. We've got to be able to put it in. Didn't. Had the ball twice with a chance to win. Didn't.
Rodgers rushes coming, and Rodgers goes down.
We had too many self-inflicted wounds.
Rodgers in trouble. He's sacked.
Just a lot of pre-snap penalties. We have to get that cleaned up. We got to figure it out. Whether or not we're good enough to handle all the or ready to handle all the cadence.
The cadence specifically, Robert said that might be something you guys have to dial back a little bit.
It's one way to do it. The other way is hold them accountable. It's been a weapon. We use it every day in practice. It seems like an outlier. I don't know if we need to make mass changes based on, kind of an outlier game.
Rodgers, step up. Rodgers is sacked and loses the ball.
I think we were kind of killing ourselves. The weather sucked, but so did some of my throws. That's on the offense. It's on me. Not good enough. Yeah, this one's definitely frustrating.
Hennessy, hold, Morstead, 50-yarder. No good. Knuckleball. Off the mark. Denver is a winner on a rain-soaked Sunday afternoon in New Jersey. 10-9, the final.
That was way out of character for us.
Welcome to another episode of Three Cranky Jets Fans. I'm Joe Close Marone, joined by Matt Callahan and Trisha Close Marone. How you guys doing?
I'm cranky.
Yeah. Well, much like Robert Saleh and company, we are coming to you fully unprepared today. Trisha and I are doing this thing evacuation style. We have left our home in the Asheville area as we've been hit by a hurricane, but we're in fairly good spirits and we're safe here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Matt, you're still in New York. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Okay. Trisha, how you holding up?
I'm exhausted. I'm so disappointed in the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, they really let us down.
Yeah. I feel like personally we were feeling great last time we got together, and then we got literally devastated by a hurricane, and the Jets couldn't pull it together for one Sunday for us. That felt a little personal. I don't know if that's true, but it just felt that way. I think I'm in a raw space, if I'm honest. So, am I allowed to curse on this thing?
Yeah.
Fuck them, man. Fuck them. Like, what is that about? Like, just get it together at that last minute and just score so that we don't have to feel this way.
For real. Well, we're going to gripe about this fiasco of a game. I suppose you could call it a game. It was just really a disaster. Then maybe we'll talk about a couple of things going on generally in the NFL. I doubt it very much. And we'll touch on what's coming up this Sunday, which it looks like we're in for a doozy against
more pain.
The Vikings and our former quarterback, Sam Darnold, who is now an MVP candidate. Anyway, on to yesterday, Sunday at MetLife Stadium. Robert Saleh, Jets coaching, personnel selections at the goal line. This was just a total disaster from start to finish. I am extraordinarily pissed off that I gave a rousing speech on our last podcast, and now I feel like a total moron.
Yeah.
Is this a sign of things to come, that we're just dead in the water, or is it just one game? Are we overreacting?
I feel like everything I praised last week were especially bad this week. Like, I specifically mentioned the offensive line last week, and I specifically gave props to Nate Hackett last week, and those two both sucked this week.
Yeah.
it was just messy, right? Like it was just messy. Nothing looked good. I don't think anything looked good. Maybe the kicker.
No, the kicker did not look good.
I mean,
Greg Zuerlein missed a 50-yarder in the closing seconds of the game to lose it.
but didn't he score all the points?
He did score all the points.
I mean, that's why I'm like tipping my hat to him. But yeah,
Not when it counted.
Not when it counted.
And he missed a couple in preseason as well. That was unlike him. I mean, he's getting a little up there. Who knows if something else is going on? But not an automatic having him kick field goals. I know the weather was bad yesterday,
but the weather was also bad for the Broncos yesterday.
Well, they looked awful too. But
they looked awful too. The Jets' defense, the one shining light in this game, is that the defense did its job. They did
for the most part.
They allowed
Except
10
for
points.
That one touchdown drive where I noted, call me crazy, but I don't think the Broncos' number one receiver should be standing wide open in the end zone for a touchdown catch.
Yeah.
And there wasn't anybody near him.
Yeah.
Like, who would have thought they'd throw to him? They only threw to him the last 4 passes, I think.
Yeah. That's fair. And I just want to say, Joe's motivating speech last week, his declaration of Jets emancipation, whatever it was, Renaissance, right? Like, I don't think that you're a moron. I think that they have really messed with us this season. They've really messed with us. And I mean, I'm not surprised that we're disappointed. I'm not surprised that we're pissed. But like, okay, literally imagine this. We are packing up our house not knowing what will be happening, right? We have just been hit incredibly hard by a hurricane. Neighbors on all sides have trees through their roofs, through their windows, through their, like, crushing down their trucks, like their cars. It's insane. And Joe is packing up and I'm like, wait, honey, grab the mic for the podcast just in case. Just in case, because I know that the Jets bring you something. You keep going back and we keep going back. And I don't think you're a moron. I think there's an element of love, right? Like, I don't want to just throw out the Jets and say the season's over. And I don't even want to just totally shit on Robert Saleh. I don't know. Do you guys think everywhere online is like, Robert Saleh's got to go? What do you two think about that?
Yeah, that's a fair point. I have been a big supporter of Robert Saleh. I like him. But that's part of the problem is this guy wants to be liked. He is almost too likable to a fault. And he refuses to at least say that he's doing anything and enforcing any sort of protocols to hold players accountable for this sloppy, undisciplined play that we keep seeing over and over again. The penalties, unforced penalties, over and over and over again for years, even against the Patriots. Even against the Patriots in a dominating win, I said they had too many penalties, still undisciplined. And they're not getting it together. Yeah. Stupid penalties. And it never, ever ends. Never. And this guy won't do anything to fix it. He says these players are professionals. They know they're doing something wrong. They've got to come up with something, whether it's player-led or not. If you're finding them, if they're coming up with their own consequences, do something that is going to make these players say, I don't want that to happen to me. On Twitter before I said, have Damian Woody come in and give everybody atomic wedgies. Yeah. If they're if they're having false starts or whatever. This is ridiculous. And then he goes after the game and says, I don't know if we're ready for these cadence
that was
situations
stupid.
With Aaron Rodgers. And that was nonsense. And then today he revisits that conversation and he just talks in circles, nonsensical, about operations. And it's just like, dude, we get it. Okay, you want to be liked by your players, but you can do it in a way where they are held accountable with each other, at least. This is not okay.
Matt, you giving up on Robert Saleh?
The first thing I wrote down as a note during the game was that I wish this team enjoyed playing football as much as they enjoy punching themselves in the dick. And that's on all of them.
Yes, over and over again.
And also, like, I mean, how do you have first and goal, and in a game that's already just a slow slog, and your first two plays are to hand the ball to Breece Hall, and you don't
Yeah,
even
it was like the same
have
play.
Allen in there, and then you bring in Allen after Breece Hall gets nothing on 2 plays, and you don't hand it to him. You try to throw it in, and I'm just like, what are they
I
doing?
saw that coming a mile away, that rollout.
Yeah, everybody saw that coming. Like, it's back to just like uninspired, dumb play calling that everybody could see coming from a mile away.
Yeah. It felt like there was player preference. We have these, even with Garrett Wilson, we have these 2 young star players that we're going to force feed no matter what. And again, Robert Saleh's comments after the game. I've said it before. Breece Hall is our workhorse every down back, and we're going to continue to feed the ball to him. Braylon Allen has proven that he is the better back so far this year. All right.
Especially in that situation. Like, he's the big guy who can, like, power it into the end zone from a yard out.
Yeah, and it's nothing against Breece Hall.
No.
He's a great back, but you have this tool. Use it. Use it in those situations, you know?
My question is like, okay, I've got 2 questions. One is, why do you think it went so poorly?
It's the Jets, and that's what their best thing is just being poor at their jobs.
I think hands down this one has to be attributed to coaching.
I mean, I'm always going to blame penalties on coaching.
Okay, you guys just need to inform me a little bit, because I want to know the teams that are doing it right, the teams that are not getting these dumb penalties over and over and over. What are their coaches doing that makes it run smoothly, that makes that stop?
A lot of times they have rules or penalties within the organization to keep things like that from happening. You know, if you are getting false starts, you get benched. If you're doing the wrong thing over and over again, you get benched. Whether it's for a quarter or for a series, but messing with players' wallets, that's definitely going to work fast. Doesn't help in the locker room too much, but
why doesn't it help in the locker room?
Well, it's like a lot of these coaching personnels are now, liked by the players, and a lot of the hard asses don't really make it too well anymore in the league. But coaches and teams have been known to fine players for.
Yeah, of course. It's
costing
them a win. They better do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's got to be a consequence. Are you guys saying that the Jets don't have a consequence?
I don't believe they do.
They have had bad penalties for so many years that they obviously have never done anything about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Robert Saleh just routinely says they know what they're doing wrong.
The hallmark of this team for the past years have been bad quarterbacks and just the stupidest penalties, and more like nonstop penalties. And they don't have a bad quarterback anymore, but they're still taking the stupid penalties. So what's changed?
So interesting that they can make it this far and still have penalties like that. Like, they're the professionals. They've been doing this since they were children. And it just seems unbelievable that can be a systemic thing. But
they're constantly trying to gain whatever edge they can, like Will McDonald lining up offsides. They're going to get every single inch they can to get as close to the quarterback as possible, or the ball carrier as possible. But listen, dude, you can see where the ball is. Dude, don't line up offsides. That is just terrible.
Show offsides.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. I can't even with this performance. It was disgusting. And despite that, even if they had won this, it would have been really gross.
Oh, even when they were winning, I was not enjoying the game at all. It was freaking just a dull slog. Nobody was playing well. It was garbage from start to end, and it only got worse.
You guys want to hear the second part of my question?
Sure.
So I totally missed the post interview or today's interview with Robert Saleh. All I saw were like headlines that said Robert Saleh made an error, like a dumb quote or something, or he said something terrible. What was it that he said?
I mean, it's probably going back to the comments about cadence.
Yeah, what I don't get that reference. What is
So cadence is a tool that especially Aaron Rodgers uses to hard count plays. So he'll say, I don't know, can't remember what the words he uses
Every
are anyway.
quarterback
But when they
uses
say
their own
like
words.
set hike,
Blue 42.
well, yeah, but when they actually go to hike the football, he says something to initiate that. But what he does a lot of times is he'll say it multiple times, and the whole line knows to go on a certain number. And quarterbacks work to make their cadence of their voice fool the defenders to come over. So you say it with enough, oh, that's the one, right? And it's been part of his success in his career that he's been able to get a lot of offsides calls. And what that means is when a defensive line comes over and goes offsides, you almost always get a free play. So the referees will throw the flag, but they won't whistle the play dead. So he can throw the ball with reckless abandon because he knows they're going to get the ball back.
Didn't that happen in the Pats game?
In this game?
In the
Pats game.
It happened in the Pats game. He had a free
It
play. He
happened in
threw
the
a
Pats
beautiful
game.
pass to, I think, Lazard or something, right?
I can't remember who to, but he did get one, yeah. And he got one in the 49ers game, I believe. So it's an effective tool that he's gotten a lot of touchdowns with. And then Robert Saleh comes in after this game and says, I don't know if our O-line is ready for it. Meanwhile, they've been doing fine the first 3 games with it. A couple offsides penalties. I mean, not offsides, false start penalties, but this is something they're working on, and it's a known weapon that Aaron Rodgers uses. So you don't take away a really potent weapon just to make it easier for your offensive line. They need to get it together, right? And that's where this discipline idea comes in, and actually enforcing some protocols to hold players accountable. Does that make sense? Did I answer your question?
I got what you said about the cadence. So Robert Saleh said
He's basically make it sound like the offensive line can't handle Aaron Rodgers' cadence without taking their own. Like he's basically make it sound like to me that Rodgers' cadence is throwing the O line off, and they're taking penalties because of it instead of getting the defense on the opposing team to take the penalty.
that makes a lot of
He's making it
sense.
sound
He's
like they're getting thrown off by it, right?
but yeah, that makes sense. That sounds
yeah,
dumb.
They may be, but they need to learn. They need to get on the same page.
That's like saying, like, oh, the quarterback is throwing the ball too hard for our receivers to catch. Like, they should catch the ball.
Yeah.
Which there were a lot of drop passes, too, this game. So many that just, like, bounced out of their hands that should have been easy catches.
And, I mean, Rodgers did not have a great game. He threw, like, a handful of
didn't.
balls
Yeah,
in the ground. He was not on.
He had several balls that were, like, badly thrown, and I heard him say that, too. Like,
it was a total
nobody
failure.
had a good game. Like, it was a shit show from start to finish by everybody involved in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got to say, so as we were making an evacuation plan, we totally threw out the idea of just driving for 2 days to New York to try to get to the game. we were like, let's turn lemons into lemonade. Let's go to this game. We mapped it out. We like talked about it. And surprisingly, it was like the dogs were the reason. We're like, well, 2 dogs. Where are we going to put them during the game? What's going to happen? We couldn't figure it out. So thank God for dogs, because
that would have been terrible.
That would have been so depressing.
That would have been turning lemons into like a shit sandwich.
Yeah.
Even before the game started, like I could see crowd shots and everybody there looked miserable. Like they all looked soaking wet and miserable.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad we didn't do
make
that.
that choice.
Yeah, especially with a 5-year-old. It's like
Yeah.
one thing to take him to his first big game. It's a sunny day, but a hurricane evacuation, rainy shit show. Like, I think he would have become a Broncos fan that
Yeah.
day. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, all right. Well,
Let's
what
put
else?
I did see them show as if to like make the game even worse. Like mid fourth quarter was my first Zach Wilson sighting, by the way.
Oh,
But this is the first time and only time they showed him on the sideline, smiling his big goofy grin.
wait. Well, I'm sorry. What's going on with Zach Wilson?
He's their backup quarterback.
Oh, for the Broncos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a dum dum. I don't care about Zach Wilson. His dumb face. He's dumb. Sorry. Whatever. Yeah.
All right.
Oh man.
Well, is it time to say goodbye to Robert Saleh? What do you think, Matt?
I don't know. I guess it depends how this next game goes.
Woody Johnson doesn't fire coaches midseason. It's not going to happen. I don't think.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting. You see these like cries for people wanting to do that on on the internet, and it is interesting how a week ago people were pretty darn happy.
Yeah, I mean, we as a fan base are like the most fickle bunch in the world, but this is a problem, and Salah's just feels like he's not doing anything about it. He's always been a cheerleader more than an actual boss or leader of this team. I mean, he leads motivationally, but as far as like making hard decisions and
should we call in Bill Belichick?
go fuck yourself.
I mean, you want to talk about somebody who's got a grumpy face, like who can, I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
if Robert Saleh and Bill Belichick had a baby, maybe they could coach the Jets. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, what else is going on in the
happens.
NFL? Anybody know anything?
Well, I right before we got on, I saw a little Twitter excitement about somebody wrote, "Don't be surprised if if this is Devontae Adams' last game as a Raider," and Antonio Pierce, the head coach, liked the tweet.
Cryptic.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's not interested in necessarily keeping Devontae on, and I don't know. Maybe that means he comes over. I don't know how much that actually helps the Jets if it does happen with the way things have gone this week and the first 2 weeks, but we'll see. I would definitely go for that for sure.
It'd be fun to watch. Maybe.
I mean, get more weapons on here. I'd love to see the ball can get spread around more. I don't want to force feed Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson at this point.
Last week
Mike
we
Williams
saw it.
looked great.
Literally last week we saw it. We had names and players on there that I was like, "Who's that?
Yeah.
What's that?" So it's
And in this game
it's not
too.
unheard of. I am not throwing it all out right now, guys. I'm really not. I think that honestly, this is what I think happened. I think two things were at play. One, they went in so confident. The predictions of a 7.5 point win, right, at home after that win again, like their previous wins, right, they were feeling good. And I think so they went in feeling a little extra confident, a little extra cocky, and the Broncos probably were like ready to roar. And I know they didn't have a good game, but it also like they were ready they were hungry for it. And so that happened, one, right? And then the other thing is we had 10 days in between. And I think honestly it's too long. Like, it sounds weird, but you almost need to like roll your momentum into the next game. You can't 10 days is a long time.
I think you're right. I did feel that way coming into this or halfway through this. Like this team probably came in feeling themselves a little bit too hard. I did get a sense of cockiness coming into this one.
And penalties happen when you're overconfident because you're just like, I'm a dummy. I don't know. Or I'm not a dummy. They're thinking like, I've got this together. I don't know. That's what I think. That's my 2 cents. Sorry, I know we're still talking about the game.
Can't get off of the misery. Yeah.
I think that's, for me, that's what I psychologically I think happened for these guys.
On a positive note, though, the Bills did lose. Currently, the Jets are still sitting at the 5 seed. And let's take a quick look at what Miami's losing 9-3 against Tennessee right now. Apparently, that's one of the ugliest games ever witnessed.
Halftime.
It's halftime right now, so hopefully they lose that one.
Uglier than what we saw yesterday.
No, that's impossible.
9-3 right now. If it ends with that, it might be. You never know.
What was the score at halftime of the Jets? 6
I think it was like
nothing.
6-7, maybe. I don't know.
No, I don't know.
Anyway,
so the Bills lost.
The Bills lost. They got pounded by the Ravens yesterday. So that's something. That is something. If the Jets can figure some things out, who knows what'll happen. But looking ahead, Sam Darnold, London, Vikings.
Well, they have a short break at least because that game's at 9:30 in the morning.
Insane defense. Brian Flores, defensive coordinator. People chanting Sam Darnold MVP. He's had 2 touchdowns in each of his 4 games. What in the fuck is happening in the world? Please.
You guys want to meet up in London?
Kind of. I mean, more just to go to London.
And boo the Jets from the sidelines.
I'm not going to London just to ruin that trip by watching the Jets.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Yeah, this has all the makings of, this next stretch. I mean, after this, we've got the Bills.
I think I'm not. I know that it was bad, but I'm not done feeling a little bit hopeful for the season. I'm just not. I'm not. I think that we're allowed to have a really bad game, and I think it was a wake-up call for these players. They looked like I don't even know, sloppy joes or something. They looked bad. I don't know what, but I think it's not too late.
I'll tell you what, you're right. And Aaron Rodgers maybe hinted at it in the middle of the week, saying he thinks that handling success is going to be in a challenge for this team. And maybe he was alluding to that. I don't know. Maybe he was seeing things at headquarters during practice saying, like, these guys are getting too cocky right now off of a win against a bad team. But that's just conjecture, really. And I don't know. But they need to use this as a wake-up call and know that they are vulnerable and need to get their act together. This was bad, and they don't have an easy slate coming up.
Matt, is it over for the Jets?
I'm not going to give them any. This team doesn't deserve any hope until they prove that they're worthy of hope. So, no. They play Vikings in London, and then the Bills, and then the Steelers. I have no confidence right now that they'll win any of those 3 games.
Awesome.
Until they show it. I'm trying to. Maybe I'm working on the reverse jinx. They might not win another game until the Patriots again at the end of October.
Well, the Dolphins. When do they get to play them?
They don't get to play the Dolphins until like the end of the season.
Guys, I'm just like hanging my hat so hard on the Dolphins games. I'm like, we got a win coming, but
they don't play the Dolphins until December.
But because I'm doing that like they're going to lose to the Dolphins.
They will.
Right?
Tua will probably come back for that game and destroy them. No, it's tough sledding coming up.
It's
right
bleak.
now.
All right, what kind of predictions are we doing for next week? I can't even talk about last week's predictions.
I think they're going to lose.
Somebody else write this down.
I'll write it down.
Thank you, Matt. Not that it matters. Wait, can I go back to last week's podcast? Because I don't remember. Do you remember?
Oh, do we have to?
No, we don't have to. But I remember at one point, I thought I said something about I think the Broncos are going to win.
I thought you gave 2 predictions.
I gave 2. I did. And they maybe both were.
I think you
they
were
were both
both
Jets
wins.
They were both wins.
You had 28-24 and 27-7.
28-24.
Matt had the Jets 24-14, and I had the Jets 31-17. Oh man, I feel so foolish.
We felt good for a week.
So going into this game, do you guys know what the spread is?
No.
The Jets are underdogs, rightly so, only by 2.5 points. 2.5 points. So if I were a betting man, and I'm not, I would be banging the over on this so hard.
So hard.
I would definitely like the Vikings to win by more than 3 points. I would say Vikings 28, Jets 17.
Huh.
Wow.
Because I have down Vikings 24, Jets 17.
Wow. I think the Jets are going to try really hard. I do. I think they're embarrassed right now.
Bunch of tryhards.
A bunch of tryhards. And so I think it's going to be something like Vikings 21, Jets 14. Yeah, I think our defense is going to keep on doing their stuff.
Win.
Oh, yeah, the Vikings are probably going to win.
Right.
I mean, you know that I want to say the other thing. You know I do.
Well, you came in saying they're going to try really hard.
I mean, they are going to try really hard. It's not going to be a blowout.
The lowest score.
But I think that the defense is going to keep that score low because the defense is not losing their mind. And I think that we will get 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns is exciting.
Yeah.
Matt, your face on that. Like, I don't care about exciting. Get your shit together, Jets. Win this game. I don't know.
I hope they all poop their pants.
Stop that. 1 loss and you're all cranky pants over there.
They
Anyway.
lost 2 times now.
Yeah.
I know. But a week ago, he was like giving them an ode to victory. This week he's wishing on them what he used.
If they win this week, I'll be streaking through the streets of Charlotte.
People of North Carolina have suffered enough.
Oh my gosh.
Gracious. All right, guys. Well, everything sucks.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
No, here's we'll dedicate this one to Western North Carolina, getting our power back, and
hoping everybody is
okay.
Yeah, safe, fed, warm, dry.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, stay cranky.
No problems.
We've got, what were we trying to say? Like, buckle up. We've got 4 more weeks of this. Yay. All right. Go Jets.
Go Jets. Like and subscribe.
Commiserate with us in the comments.
Follow on all the socials.
Follow on the socials. All the stuff. Do all the stuff.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, bye.